My name is Dr. Joan Evans, and I'm one of the professors in the mathematics department here at Texas Southern University.
Okay. So, Dr. Evans, and where were you born?
I was born here in Houston, Texas. Born and raised right here. One girl of eight brothers and male cousins. My mom was a single parent, or should I say a divorcee, and she too was an alumni, which I am, of Texas Southern University, and my father also was an alumni of Texas Southern University. Um, my mom was in history and counseling, and my father was in math, and he he ended up being a math instructor and a coach at one of the community colleges here in Texas.
So, how did your family get to Texas?
Well, long story. I mean, if we can go all the way back to slavery, my great grandparents uh, were were slaves, and they migrated through Alabama, Louisiana into Texas, and actually um, they were settled in Richmond, Texas, which is not too far from Houston. And the slave master, my great grandparents, um, the slave master gave them property, owned them, and gave them property there in Richmond, and that's basically where they started. My grandmother and grandfather met there, and began to raise a family and move to Houston.
So, what do you remember about your childhood?
Ooh. Well, being it was a very strict childhood. I remember more than anything, just really stressing to us the importance of having a good education.
Did your parents discuss race or racism with you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. My parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents. I mean, there were talks about, of course, racism, but they mentioned that you could overcome all of this through having a good education, and that was part of the movement of integration to be able to have a good education.
What moment in American history sticks out to you the most?
Ooh, the 60s, I guess the late 50s and early 60s with integration. I think um, for myself, that was most significant, being a part of uh, that integration movement. hmm
What advice would you give young people today for like the different opportunities or what sticks out to you?
Getting a good education. I mean, I cannot stress it enough. I think that staying focused, staying focused, and not allowing anything to get in the way of a good education. Getting a good education, you you you're doing something a finite amount of time, to last infinitely. And that's the most important thing.
Do you think HBCUs are important? Why or not?
I absolutely think that they're important. I'm a part of an HBCU, and I think that um, HBCUs for minorities are important. I think they understand the culture a lot better. I think that they know how to have empathy with any minorities, regardless to what that may be. Um, Basically, having gone through a lot of the HBCU professors are a part of having some type of struggle, um, be it in the job market or educationally. They, I think they have more empathy that they can contribute to students and help to encourage them more. I think when you leave an HBCU, there's no university anywhere in the world that you will not be qualified to go to and do extremely well.
So can you describe the campus life when you came here to Texas Southern University then and compare it to now?
Oh, yes. Um, when I first came to Texas Southern University, I think it was more close knitted. I think students were more respectful of professors. I think I think there was more of a common understanding and goal that you're here at this university to get an education. And in order to do that, you must work, you must study, and you must stay focused on getting that degree in 4 years, maybe less. I mean, I remember when I came, I was hoping to get at least my bachelor's degree less than 4 years, going every summer. That was my goal. So I think that students were more focused than they are now. I don't see a lot of study groups. We build study groups, and we interacted with the professors. It I don't see a lot of that, and sometimes it's very disheartening.
And my final question is, what made you choose to study mathematics and make it your major?
Oh my goodness. Well, coming up in a house that the major things that you must excel in were reading, writing, and mathematics. And I didn't really understand that I was good in math. I was identified really by a third grade teacher, and they would sort of move me around the classes to help students that didn't understand certain concepts, and I would assist them in making it more clear and getting them up to par with whatever class that was, and they continued to do that throughout my elementary stay. The teachers would kind of move me around to help other students, and before I knew it, in middle school, I I began to get in what was called an exceptional math class, where we had to go to school an hour earlier in the morning and stay an hour later in the afternoon studying math. And that particular teacher was one of the ones when I was in elementary school that brought me to the university on Saturdays to help the students there to work on their math problems. So eventually it began to kind of click. Maybe that could be a major. I came to the university wanting to major in physical education and minor in physics, but it soon flipped.
Well, thank you, Dr. Evans, for conducting this interview with me, and have a good day.
You too. Thank you
Thanks.
very much for asking.